All right, Wagwan Delilahs. Welcome to Tico Time with Sam Maxon, Luke Block, and Peter Angel. Here we go. Luke, how you feeling today?
Well, not bad. Just making some dinner right now. So, yeah, I'm excited to record the first official episode of the Tico Time podcast.
Yes, this is very exciting. This has been a long time dream for us since the end of port, and we've been trying to set up some time to do it, but every time it seems like someone's not quite ready.
Usually it's Peter who's not quite
Yeah,
ready.
that was kind of
Well, it
funny.
was Luke last time.
Nah, I don't know about that. Let's talk about how the podcast started for each of you listeners who are curious.
But everyone's curious. What a cool.
I think it was it? I think it was at the second semester launch.
Yeah, I think it was. But I don't actually remember whose idea it was.
I think no, it's because you were like, Sam, we should have a podcast, but you wanted to call it like something else. I forget what it was.
Well, we weren't even originally going to have it on the topic of port. We were just going to do a podcast, and then we were talking near the end of the dinner, and it was just as the bills were getting handed out, we were going to have to pay our bills at the cash register, and we just started talking in the line and coming up with ideas and stuff.
Oh yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
originally it was going to be about Sam Maxon,
Yeah, it was.
That's wild.
which is so funny. And I love that Sam was so hyped about it too. A podcast about himself.
Didn't you? I don't know how. Didn't you want to call it like Silky Touch?
Yeah,
We did.
That's wild.
I think that's an apt name though. If it was about Sam.
What? I'm happy with Tico Time. I think it fits better.
Yeah, so we started with the Silky Touch, and then we just thought from there, like, why don't we just make a podcast about all of port? Because we just started thinking about stories. And they're like, why don't we just make one about everyone? And
I feel
our
like,
whole time of port.
did we have any names in between Silky Touch and Tico Time? I thought there was like some sort of like
I think the port podcast was thrown in there.
port.
We had something to do with caminadas because it was like,
Oh yeah.
because we had that idea of doing like interviews, like interviewing people, which we will be doing. But then it was like, that's kind of like a caminada. So then we wanted to do something to do with caminada.
Caminada Showcase. That was an idea.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was either gonna be track time because of like how we'd always walk around the track like for caminadas. It was gonna be track time, or caminada showcase, or Coronado conversations. That's what it was gonna be.
Honestly, we had a lot of good names. Like those are not bad.
Caminada showcase could have been cool because I think we would have highlighted more on like interviewing people too.
Yeah, but I think Tico Time is just like general. Like this literally could mean anything. Like
it's more open ended. It doesn't have to just be caminada.
all it references is like Costa Rica, honestly.
Yeah.
And then for those who know, we'll dive into everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was kind of like the origin story, I guess. Was at a lunch, thinking we should do a podcast, and then here we are.
Yeah.
It's good lunch.
Good lunch.
It's expensive.
Holy, tell me about it. Yeah, but first episode.
Are you eating?
I'm always eating. Well, maybe
fact.
Well, let's talk about how did Luke and Peter become like the school like leftover crew? Tell me about that. How do you achieve that? Like everyone just volunteers to give you their food.
I think from my experience, it's all about putting yourself out there. Like you got to show at meal times that you can eat however much you want to eat. Like when there's leftover pasta, you don't let that sit. Like you take that. You show people that you need that extra food, and then they go to you. They know you're out there and you want it.
I remember talking to Jed about this because he was asking me the same thing. Because he was like, "I'm always hungry, but I don't get food either." And then I was like, "Well, because sometimes you say no, I'm good. I don't need leftovers."
Yeah.
Even if you're not that hungry, you have to take those leftovers so that they always come back to you. You have to just be like setting yourself up as a reputable source for eating those leftovers.
So it's like it's all about the commitment. Is that what I'm getting? Like you just have to go all
Exactly.
in.
Self
And I
promotion.
think
You gotta market yourself.
honestly, Cade is probably like the number one guy for that.
He is.
I think
Yeah,
he's
because
literally
he's always up at the end of meals, walking around
exactly.
scouting for extra food.
Oh, I think it was who was it? Hazel and Beth, maybe, who had like we had like a bet going for like finding the exact time or guessing the exact time that Cade would stand up to go look for more food.
Actually,
Yeah, I thought it was so funny. I overheard that in one
That's
of the meetings. They
that's
can
actually
fact check
wild.
me on that. Maybe I'll get Tish for being wrong, but I'm pretty sure they had that going.
That reminds me of I've been saying dirt nasty like every day. Every time I see something gross.
It's bad. It's kind of embarrassing, but
that is embarrassing.
iconic.
Fire words though. Dirt
Yeah.
nasty.
Maybe we should. Oh, if we get Hazel or Beth onto the podcast, we should call that episode "Dirt Nasty,"
Yo, wait, we should.
Yes.
and then we could just be referencing Manitoba. No one would know because it's Manitoba.
Except for the 4 other people that came from Manitoba.
No, I just mean that Manitoba's dirt nasty.
It is.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That would be a good episode. Add the BC people in there too. And Belle from Saskatchewan. Pretty much everything that's not Ontario.
What?
Okay, Peter, calm down.
Yeah, chill. Just because the
You're getting
Leafs lost.
I'm still salty.
What are you
The
salty about?
Oilers. How are the Oilers doing?
They lost
Dude.
last night in overtime. Brad
Double
Marchand with a
overtime.
nasty overtime winner.
Wow.
Oh, I thought they had it. After Corey Perry scored that game-tying goal with 17 seconds left.
No, I was for game one though. I was in Hazleton, and I found Wi-Fi, but it wasn't good enough to actually watch the game. So then I ended up listening to it on the radio, just like at Port. And so I was just sitting at the visitor center of the city or the town. It's like a one-street town. It's tiny. I was sitting at the visitor center in my car, listening on the radio with like a tub of ice cream, and then McDavid to Draisaitl scores the OT winner, and I went absolutely ballistic. I jumped out of my car and started screaming, and then there's other people there, and they were all just looking at me like really funny. And
I'd love to be there.
Wait, what were you guys like peak thrift finds when you were at Port? Because I remember, I feel like I know I found the Volkswagen jacket and like the Walmart vest, but I feel like did you guys get like good stuff when you were there? Did you get that? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Carhartt jacket that retails for like $400 for $4, and then I wore it back. It was massive, so I had to wear it back for my traveling back after first semester, and then I got back home, put it on Marketplace for $200, and sold it in like a few days.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
That's wild.
Biggest profit margin of all time. It was actually sick.
I think for me, the best find was the Leafs jersey. And I remember the day I was buying it, I was with Luke. I can't remember who else was with us, but I remember you were there. And we went into the thrift store, and I was like, no, I'm not going to get it. Because it was like, it didn't look like a nice jersey because it was a retro one. And I was like, in my head, I was just like, no, I'm not going to get it. So I walked out, and Luke's like, did you get the Leafs jersey? And I was like, no. And he's like, what? And you crashed out on me, and you like brought me back into the store, and you're like, you're buying it.
It was like $4 for a Leafs jersey. Retro is even better. Retro is sick.
It was like, I think it was like 6,000 colones.
Okay, all right. So maybe a little more than $4.
Still an absolute
that's an
steal.
insane deal. Yeah.
And I never looked back on it. Best purchase of my time in Costa Rica.
There we go.
The colognes would always get me, especially as like having to do the Canadian transfer, because you'd see something that would be like 1,500 colognes, and in your head that's like, oh, that's like $3.
Yeah.
But then it's like when you add the tax and the exchange and whatever, it's like $8 almost, like Canadian. So it's like that one like Jet AM that you really wanted to buy is actually like more than you thought.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh, bro! Colognes is so funny because like before I went for my first semester, I had no idea how it was pronounced, and so I thought it was colognes.
Same here.
What?
Yeah, like totally. The first time I was in Costa Rica, I said colognes to maybe like Gabe, and
Yeah, I said it to Gabe too.
He made fun of me so much for that.
That's wild.
That was tough.
Anyway, so another thing that happened on that lunch, the second semester lunch that one day, near the end of the semester was we were talking about Sam, and we were coming up with a name for it because Sam's like a prominent figure in the second semester group of this spring semester. So we were trying to come up with like a catchphrase almost to describe Sam. And Luke, why don't you tell our listeners what we came up with for Sam?
Well, the truth is, he's kind of the group leader.
He is.
And you see that in a lot of different ways, but just like the way he'll bring up conversation. And like when we went to that second semester lunch, then he brought a printed out paper with him for like different prompts and
He
questions for us
did.
to reflect on our time there. And then he just like, stood up, tapped the glass like he's at a wedding, of course. And
No
then
shot. Did not tap the
You,
glass.
you were about as
I think
close
people
as
would believe me.
yeah, you're about as close as you could get to be doing that.
But outside of that lunch, was I like the group leader like outside of that though?
Well,
Yeah,
here's where we have to start talking about kind of your evolution through your 2 semesters.
we
That's
do.
what I feel like.
Fighting.
Because I think first semester, I wouldn't say that you were like, a prominent leader in the group. But then second semester, I don't know, for me, I just saw this change where I'm like, holy, like this guy's planning stuff. He's like taking charge in things and like, especially like the deeper things, the discussions, like various like events, stuff we hosted for the girls. Like you're stepping up, you're doing the introductions, you're doing all these things. And I was like, wow, this is really cool to see.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that too. I think first semester I was like, there was kind of a change in Sam near the end of the semester where he was like starting to organize more things, like like trips to the grocery store, stuff like that, pops trips, like just small things. And then I think that kind of transformed second semester into like, okay, let's plan an event for the girls for Valentine's Day. And I think he really like brought that together for the group. Or no, it wasn't was yeah, it was Valentine's Day, the first one. I just like things like that. And like you and Danny Glock, I think, were the two, but I think you throughout the whole semester as a second semester were like the big leader for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess in different ways. I mean, there was definitely like a lot of people that led different things. I mean, Daniel Glock was definitely. I mean, we called him assistant group leader for fun, but in some ways he would lead more than me in different ways.
Yeah.
And different people like would just bring up different conversations, like Mattis and stuff. Definitely,
Yeah, that's true.
there's different things led, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, there were other prominent supporters like Mattis and Daniel. I think sometimes like Luke, you were a big organizer of like sports games and stuff. Like you were the athletics facilitator, I
Yeah,
guess we could call you. Like there were subcategories by Sam. I think Sam was like the GM of the group leaders, you know?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so funny.
What were like your first impressions of me? I guess I was in first semester, but like I remember
Oh,
I was intimidated of Luke. Like I don't even remember. I like me and him actually. Fun fact for all of you who were there in the spring and not the fall. Me and Luke maybe had like 2 or 3 conversations in the fall. Like we did not talk much.
we had we had one caminata that was planned, and I think for like the whole time we talked about Fortnite.
Yeah, to be honest, I was like I don't know what to talk about with him because I was
Yeah,
like I've never interacted with Luke. It was kind of wild.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
honestly
go ahead.
bonded though over that with that caminata about Fortnite. That was a great bonding experience for me with Sam. Because
That
like
was wild.
I just realized that this is a really cool guy. Like if somebody came up to me and then just started talking about Fortnite, like that's immediately just a great person right there.
What?
Yeah, Luke was an interesting one. I was like when I first met him I think it was because you didn't get there till the Sunday morning, did you? Or you
Yeah,
came
Sunday
late
morning.
Saturday night?
Yeah,
First semester?
yeah. First semester, I came in at like midnight Saturday night,
Yeah.
but then I first met everyone really on like Sunday morning.
Yeah, I remember meeting you on Sunday morning. It was like by the ping pong table or something. I was like, whoa, this guy's like, I don't even know what it was, but like, you just seemed like, I don't know, like a reserved guy to me. And I was like, we got to break into this guy. Like, we got to open him up a bit.
Okay.
I remember Dawson saying that. He was like, I'm still trying to break into Luke.
Wait,
That sounds crazy.
what was like
Oh no.
what was I like first week? Like I mean Peter knew me before, but like for you, Luke.
No, yeah. Holy. I I specifically remember our like Spanish class. We had Spanish class together, and we had to do this one project together. It was like a pamphlet
I still have it. I have it in my
You still have the
office.
pamphlet?
I
No
kept it,
way.
bro. It was
That's
nostalgic.
hilarious. Yeah, that was like our first like real like interacting together was doing that pamphlet. And I remember when we got our like groups and it was with Sam and I was like, oh shoot. But with Sam, I genuinely didn't know if it was a joke or not, or if he was just kind of being like a little bit weird.
I know what you mean.
What is happening?
This is where Silky Touch comes from, of
It
course. I feel like
does.
people know what I mean.
No shot. This was your first impression.
Yes,
I think
this was some of my first impressions. And so then we had that project together. I was like, oh, this guy's kind of weird. Like, why am I with Sam? This is not great. Genuinely,
that
gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, I also knew that you were like a very like I saw how mature you were as well in like conversation and stuff, and you were intentional about that. And so, for me, I was never like huge on the deep conversations and stuff like that. So then I think for me as well, it was like a little bit intimidating, because it's like, okay, this guy, he knows how to have a deep conversation. He knows how to get that started. But I'm like, I'm
yeah.
not the kind of guy that wants to have those conversations really, especially with people that I just met. So then it was like,
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, we were in both our Spanish classes together, Glock.
Yeah, we were.
yeah.
No, we were all in the same Spanish class. You guys were in one second semester.
I remember like so in spring semester Spanish class, it was me, Block, Daniel Depor, and Cade, and Chelsea. And I remember Chelsea walking in and just being like low-key disappointed because it was just like all of these like menaces. And we had Mariana, and that class was wild.
That I remember sitting in the kiosco, and every time I'd look over, you guys would be doing something wilder. Like Cade would be sticking something off its nose and like blowing it across the room and stuff. I remember looking over and I saw that once. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, because we had those like that's when those little like ducks were everywhere, like those little colorful ducks. Like remember you'd find them
Yeah.
everywhere, and Cade put one in his nose, and like blew it out,
Snot rocketed it.
and like it went like all the way across the classroom. It was like it was looking impressive, but I was like, what? And then like Mariana went and picked it up, and then we told her that it was
What?
in Cade's nose, and she was freaking out a little bit.
Those were good Spanish classes. We learned so much Spanish.
I bet you did.
See,
Yeah. I'm just saying that in case any of the staff end up listening to this podcast.
amazing
Just wanna make
students.
sure. Yeah, we're great. We were great students. Remember us fondly.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that kind of wild that like you're there for like a semester or two, but then it's like you're kind of gone, but then it's like the staff are like always there. Hey,
Yeah.
Because for us, that's just like a temporary place that we go to for a decently long while, but like still, it's temporary. It's like a small chapter in our lives, but for them, that's like their whole like that is their life. That's where they live.
Well, and they get so used to saying goodbye to students too. It's like,
Yeah,
sure, they're definitely sad to say goodbye to us, I hope, but that's a regular thing for them. That happens every year.
yeah,
yeah,
Twice a year for
4
most
months.
students.
Yeah. Well, then they also have the summer programs, which is 2 per summer. So they say goodbye to like 4 different groups of people in a year.
Yeah.
I heard like the summer programs are a bit less emotional.
Well, it makes
Summer-
sense. Yeah, they're only there for like less than a month.
Actually, I have a friend that worked at a like camp with me in like 2023 is actually at a summer program right now at Port Antorchis.
Oh, sick!
Yeah,
I
I know.
saw
Yo, what?
on the Port Instagram some like summer program stuff happening. I was like, oh, there's students there.
It's really weird because like you'll see them like post something, but it's like you're so used to being in the pictures.
Yeah.
You're no longer part of it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh dang, it's like they moved on. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird feeling.
How
yeah,
dare they move on?
I know.
Well, then Sarah, it must have been Sarah because she does the stories, but she put that advertisement on for the summer programs, and there's a picture, and it's like, is that like Kira's head in the back? Because I thought it was a picture of the summer program classes, but I slowly started to recognize more and more people, and I was like, that's just a picture from our class, and that's kind of like a nostalgia kick-in moment for me.
Are you guys excited for when that video comes out, the promo video?
Yeah,
Bro, I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's
like
gonna be hype.
we're gonna be on like the website and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
I
I
got
really
interviewed
hope
for
they
that
don't
too.
use. I really hope they don't use my interview for that. Holy, it was so bad. I
Was
didn't
it?
know. Yeah, I didn't know like really what I was gonna say. Like I kind of thought about it beforehand, but then he would like ask me stuff, and I'd be like rambling, not really sure what to say, and then he'd like kind of start me like, "That's great. Can you say that in one like shorter like 10-second sentence?" And then he'd be like, what did I say again?" And I would just forget it. It was so bad. He was like, I think
Yeah, I
probably
feel
cut
that
it
too.
short. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when I did mine, and I said all that I wanted to say, and he was like, "Can you just say that again?" But just like, because I was saying it as like a we, like as like a group, to kind of make it sound like yeah, it's like more like all of us are growing in our faith. But I guess he wanted me to talk from my perspective. So like, can you say that all what you just said, but like say I instead of we? And I just completely forgot what I said, and I said something completely different.
Yeah, oh,
It's like this guy
exactly.
probably thinks I'm an idiot.
What was his name again? Chris?
Pardon?
Was his name like Chris or something?
I think so.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
He's from like Colorado or something.
no, he's
he's a
from
great guy.
Wisconsin.
Oh, right. Sorry. Frank's from Colorado.
Yeah.
Who's like your guys' like favorite guest speaker? Like from the second semester?
Frank Cerrone, baby.
He was definitely good. I think I liked Sam Hatfield the most. I think that
Yeah,
class was really good.
yeah.
I wish we did a questions thing with him too.
I had a caminata with Sam, and that was really good. He's a
What was it
great,
like?
great.
Like,
Yeah.
was he very different? Like, not in like teaching mode? I mean, I guess I talked with him at meals, but that was kind of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can see his personality and character in the way he teaches, and I think that
Yeah.
I saw the same thing in the caminata we had, but it was like way more personal. So that was really cool to
Hmm.
hear about him and then kind of open up to him as well about some different things. Like, definitely, yeah, it was fun. It was worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got like a bird in the background there, Block?
Yeah, there's a crow in our backyard.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really, really loud. We have like my house backs onto a forest, and so there's always like squirrels and crows and stuff that you wake up to, and they're loud.
Sweet.
Yeah, that crow is going at it right now.
Oh man, what is it like being home for you guys?
Uh, I think, I don't know, for me, I mean, like, so I went home. I had like 3 days of like hanging out with my family, went to church, got some stuff done, and then I moved in right to like camp essentially. And so it's like, it's actually kind of weird because like I'm living with like 35 other people. And so it's like a similar type of community, but it's also like a very different setting because we're all working and
Hmm.
we all have different schedules and stuff. But I think like sometimes it's like harder than others. I think like overall it's been really cool because it's like a great transition because it's like I'm still getting poured into by like some of the older staff and like getting to like grow still, but also it's like definitely a readjustment back to like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was like it wasn't super hard at first. I guess like we got back on the late on the Saturday night, and I went to church the next morning. I was feeling good about everything, but I think it came. So I started work on the Monday. Started my new job on the Monday, and I thought it was going to be full time, but I guess one of my boss's contracts got cut, so my job got moved to part time. So I found out like at the end of the day of work that day, my boss was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're off Tuesday, Thursday this week." I was like, "Oh." So I had the day off all day next day, and no one was at home because my brother was at school, my sister was at work, and both my parents were teaching. So I was just at home, and I was like, there was nothing to do. So I just sat and I like thought about port like all day,
Oh, jeez.
and that was when it really kicked in. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Sam came over. So Sam came over earlier that morning at like 10 o'clock, and I made pancakes.
Oh, we saw that in the group chat.
Yeah, and then John's like, Pedro get fired from his job already.
I think that was in like the Port Lads chat or like
Yeah,
one of the guys ones.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so when Sam left after breakfast that morning, because he had to go do something, I think, I was like just sitting there all afternoon. Just like I took the dog out for a walk and stuff, but it was like just like thinking about Port, and that was when it was like actually started to hit for me that it was all over, and I was like missing everyone so much.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. What about you, Block? Has it been tough? Like you've been moving around a little bit, being in Hazleton and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's for me. I've just been so busy with work and stuff. Like, I got back on Sunday, so it was Mother's Day, and then Monday I had a job interview, and they hired me, and then Tuesday I started working. So it was all very just rapidly, like didn't have much time to even like process anything or think, and then work started, and I had like a couple weeks to adjust to the new people that I was working for, the way it all was running, and then they started sending me off to different spots, and so then I was just like away from home for like a week, somewhere else, just like living at a crew house, working longer days, and then it was like, and I didn't have Wi-Fi at the crew house, so it was literally just like working, eating, sleeping, working, eating, sleeping, and this cycle, and I don't know, I was never I still just haven't really had time just like really just sit and think about like now that I'm back at home and it's over.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah,
I don't know. I think which is where I think this podcast is great because I think it's a great way to just kind of like reflect on things
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then talk about it with other people. And it's like not just your own thoughts as well. So you don't like feel like super sad maybe, but like I'm just like, talking with some buddies. We're in Ontario right now and who went to Costa Rica with me.
yeah. So yeah, that concludes our first episode of Tico Time. For those of you listening, if you have ideas of what we should talk about, send them in. If you want to be interviewed, we're gonna get to that in the coming months. And yeah, hope you have a great day.